No, you're live. Let's go.
Yeah, no, he said he's live, but he got to go get his kid.
Oh, well, that's fine.
I think. Just do it. We got time. You just come back and I can talk about you behind your back while you ain't on the screen.
Oh
So
yeah,
we
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 can't hear him. I can't hear him right now anyway. So,
no,
but I already rolled the intro.
no,
So
we good. We good. I can hear him though. I wonder why you can't hear him.
I can't hear him because he's not on the screen.
Oh, okay. I wonder. So can people hear him?
No.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and go. All right. Well, we're here live at the Lantern Street Grill and Tap House, and man, we got a good one tonight. This is gonna be a fun one for us because I got a very special guest. I do call him a dear friend. We're gonna talk heavy Dallas Cowboys um, tonight because he is a former Dallas Cowboy. We're going to go through his stats and some different things because as I've been tweeting and shooting out on Instagram and Facebook and everything else, um, he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. And although he can't really debate it, me and JT will definitely talk about it. And of course, I want to get his opinion because he's been on television. Not only is a All Pro Super Bowl winner multiple times over, um, he's been able to be a tremendous analyst and talk Dallas Cowboys. Yes, that is correct. You're right. Got some people know what's going on here in the place. So I've already got my cheese sticks. I got my Dos Equis. I'm good to go. And so for my quick run out, what I want to do is actually being able to say this to people because as I was looking through some of these stats and different things, it's really interesting to see how you actually play as an athlete. Where do you have your best years at? What does that really look like? And I can say for me, my best playing days were with the Dallas Cowboys, and I think it's because of the people that I actually played around and the people that I played with. So it is my encouragement to uh, high schoolers, college players, or even people in the pros who may be listening. Man, it's really important who you surround yourself with. Right now, a lot of people are chasing the almighty dollar and things, and you wonder what happened to them when they're not playing quite as well, and sometimes they're just not in the right fit. And I played on multiple teams, had some good good years at all of them, but my best years were with the Dallas Cowboys, and I know for a fact that it is a lot because of this guest that we have on tonight. So before I pop him in, see if I can get JT on the screen. JT is a co-host, my son, the the man behind the machine, the man behind the data, uh, just a tremendous everything. I ain't saying that just because he's my kid. I'm just, yeah, I'm proud of him. I'm proud of him and all that kind of stuff. But um, he's a pretty cool dude, man. He's a pretty cool dude. He knows how to grill, so that even makes it better when he can do that. So, um, JT, welcome to the show. Appreciate you getting us all hooked up. I know we're doing something different. No one needs to know about what's happening right now, but man, seems like it's going pretty flawless. Is
It's
that
not.
right?
So, we can move on. Yeah,
Hey
no,
man,
it's
I'm here right now, dude. Are we gonna do this show?
We finna get you in. Just give me a
Come on,
second here.
dog. I'm sitting here. Y'all taking y'all time. This is like just because you fatigued. This ain't the Teague show.
All right, well, let's do this then. Let's go ahead and bring in our special guest. Y'all hear him. He is the number 28. The, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
JT. Yeah.
We have to back this guy in, and he know what I'm talking about when I say that because if y'all don't know who Darren Woodson is or how he used to look, one of the things I really remember about him, JT, was the size of this guy's back. It's like oh man, it's just ridiculous. I mean, he's built like one of them cartoon characters with them little bitty old legs and them big old upper body. They had to make us some special shoulder pads.
All right, Prime. All right, Prime.
But we'd like to welcome Darren Woods to the show.
Man, I loved the intro when you came out and you said, about time you started giving me some love. And the boys here in Dallas some love. When you came out and said, it's the people that you gave me the whole sentimental thing. It's the people that you surround yourself with and you play with and make, yeah, you damn right. About time, see, JT, about time I got some love, dog.
Well, you go get some more.
Forever.
You go get some more.
You're going to get a lot, and we're going to get a lot. So what we want to talk about with D. Wood tonight is, like I said, he's a humble guy. I'll say that. So he won't necessarily debate on what we're trying to say, but I do want to talk to him about his, being a finalist as a Hall of Famer, a potential Hall of Famer that we're really, really rooting for. But then we need to talk about the current state of the Cowboys and how good can this defense be, and ask him specifically about the secondary and that. So why don't we just start with this Hall of Fame thing? Okay. Woody, I'm just, I wish I was in your shoes in this kind of sense, but how does it really feel to even be on a ballot like that? I went in for the Alabama Hall of Fame. We're talking about the National Football League Hall of Fame, man. Do you get nervous with this, or are you just excited, or, how do you really feel the next couple months coming up?
No, I don't, man. I don't get nervous anymore. Like, this is wavy. There's a part of it when you first get on the ballot, and it's part of it that's nerves because you want to get on, you're anxious to get on, man. But then you realize after the 100th time, like, I can't control this. I have zero control in the decision making for the NFL Hall of Fame, so I need to let go. I have, man. I can't even tell you what the rules are, how many times you can get voted on. I just figured out the semifinalists this past year, or what the semifinalists actually means, because it kind of just like, I feel like I'm deserving. I feel like I should be a Hall of Famer. But again, when you don't have control, man, you got to sit back and just, let people decide your fate. And part of me feels this way, guys. I think, like, part of me feels like I should have never left it to this chance. Like, it's partly my fault to leave it in their hands to decide my value as a football player. Because maybe I should have talked more. Maybe I should have, pursued it while I was playing, and I had those days, and I never did. I never was, promoting myself and, talking about the multiple positions I was playing. I didn't talk about that. So, it is what it is, man. And I'm okay with, man, regardless of what's going to happen, dude. I'm really good on where I am in my life.
Okay. And that's awesome. I appreciate you saying that. And because I was always wondering if you were crying like some of these other guys be crying. Hey, get in. There's another Dallas Cowboy that was had some tearful moments and all this kind of stuff. But you deserve to get in. And so let if you can give us a moment to talk about you while we're here, okay, in a good way. Because here's what I think me and JT need to have a good conversation about, and I want you to hear it, and I want everyone to hear it, across the country, any voters and everything else, on why Darren Woodson needs to be in the Hall of Fame. And I'm going to put this case together, or try to put this case together, because I played with another safety that just went in. His name is Leroy Butler. And I played with him for many years, and I played for Darren Woodson for many years. And I know what the differences are, and I can tell you exactly why. So when you look at these two stats, so I'm talking to JT at this point, right? I don't know if you looked at his stats, both of them, but they're very, very, very similar. So for me, statistically, there's not anything. I don't know why there would be a holdup on why Woody can't be in there. So let me tell you about the differences in these guys and see if you can kind of agree with this a little bit. So when I started out in the league, I played with Leroy Butler. He was kind of a not necessarily the best cover guy, I would say. He was instinctive. He could make plays around there. Now, I know he had a lot of interceptions, 38 interceptions or whatever. But I think he was surrounded by a lot of people that kind of helped with that too. He had a really good line. We had a lot of good things happening, and he just had a knack for the football. The one thing I can say about Darren Woodson that made him different was the thing with Woody is that I never had to worry about whether or not Woody could actually cover those guys in the slot and still be able to run defense like no one else. Woody outshines Leroy Butler, and maybe the sacks number doesn't actually equate, but they're very, very close. But we used Woody in a different way. Our scheme was different. Aaron was a tremendous leader, vocal, big hitter, playing, running around to the football. Five times in the Pro Bowl, 5 times Pro Bowler. AP All-Pro, 3 times Super Bowl winner. I mean, this dude had every bit that I had. And so, Darren, when I was talking about my run out and what made me better, it was guys like you that I could see and actually learn. I felt like I elevated people when I was with Green Bay. I think I helped Leroy, okay? I'm saying that in a humble way. But you guys helped me. You helped me, particularly in the secondary, and being able to say, hey, try this, do this type of thing. So this guy needs to have the gold jacket, as someone mentioned in the comments down here, right? JT, when you look at the data, JT is the data guy. What is there anything that you see as alarming?
Yeah. So there's many different places that you can get player stats from. And I usually get mine from Pro Football Reference. Not a sponsor, could be. They have like this Hall of Fame monitor, and they have like some kind of weird algorithm that gives you a number that is supposed to rank you somehow. I don't know. I didn't read the article. That doesn't matter. What does matter is that on this list of guys that are bold, those are the guys that are in, and then there are guys that are not bold. Those are guys that are not in. And Darren's score is like right there with John Lynch. So I actually did 2 other comparisons. I compared his stats to John Lynch and Ty Law, both of whom are also Hall of Famers. I think, let's see. I think Super Bowl championships matter. They matter for everybody else, so I don't know why they wouldn't matter for defensive players. So Darren has won as many Super Bowls as Ty Law and John Lynch combined. As you said, 3-time first team All-Pro, which is 1 more than John Lynch and 1 more than Ty Law. There is what is it? This is the Pro Bowl, 5 Pro Bowls. Now, John Lynch had 9, but that's fine. Ty Law also had 5, so he matches him there. And then you just kind of start going into all of the other measurables, stats that are tackles, interceptions, things like that. And what stood out to me was the numbers are already comparable, but Darren played a lot fewer games. A lot fewer games. And I think that matters. I think that is John Lynch, I think, has about 50 extra games. But the interceptions are damn near the same. The tackles are close. The assisted tackle, the solo and assisted, you can go into all of that, but really, I think the point that I'm trying to make in summary is that if John Lynch is in, I don't understand why Darren Woodson is not. And that's not a knock against John Lynch. That's just a player who has the same kind of production in fewer games in a shorter time. Kind of makes it a no-brainer to me. Although I do understand how voting works, and there's other things that people remember and don't remember, and who knows if the people were voting were even, I don't know, they could be my age.
Well,
Who knows?
yeah. And Darren Woodson threw his helmet more times than probably any of those other guys too.
Well, those count.
I don't know if that's a stat or not, but
A lot of people don't know that. Yeah.
I mean, there's other guys on here too that, are in the Hall of Fame. And I didn't want to speak too much on them just because they played a lot longer ago. You guys are about the same age, so I guess that means they were playing. Two of them were playing when you guys were in high school, and the other one played. His name is Dick LeBeau, who, I mean, yeah, big name in the Hall of Fame, but like his stats ain't. I recognize it's a different era and all that kind of stuff, but if we're just comparing measurables, it ain't close. It's not close.
Look, man, I gotta be honest with you. It kind of feels awkward to have this conversation. It really does. Like,
I know it does.
I don't know the stats. I don't know. Like, I don't think I've ever looked at stats and thought you can measure a player by their stats. I honestly don't. Like, the smartest person, you can't measure the smartest person I ever played with. I'm sitting here on the call with him right now. Is George Teague while he's eating his chicken wings or whatever he eats, right? Like, smartest dude, like, serious, hands down. I'll tell everybody, smartest dude I ever played with. Like, I was playing multiple positions, so I would move down on first down, I'd play safety. Second, third down, they bring 3 wide receivers in. I go down, move down to the slot and the nickel and play the nickel. And I can't tell you how many times George would have to remind me that I'm playing nickel. Like, I would line up right next to him, and he'd be like, "Hey, dude, you're playing nickel. Move down on the slot, like, and line me up," because I would get a little. But like, hearing these stats and all that, man, I really don't give a damn. Like, about the stats. Like,
I know you don't, man, but it's reality, though.
The measurement should be, dude, what did you bring to the freaking thing? Like, I'll give you one right now. Like, I can think of, and I would, if I ever got into the Hall of Fame, I would bring up one guy who probably won't ever make it. He probably won't ever make it. Or Steve Smith, we would have to prepare for this cat at the wide receiver position because he moved all over the place. They put him in the backfield, they put him in the slot, they put him out wide, and you'd have to game plan for him on the defensive side of the ball. But then you would also have to prepare for the same dude on special teams because he was a flat out monster. Like, he affected the game in 2 phases. And when you have to prepare for someone the entire week to say, okay, where is this little dude? Like, where is he? We better find him. Because if we don't find him, he's going to hurt us. And Jorge, you were on the teams watching film on this little dude, right? And he was a dog, like a flat out dog. And I can remember being in defensive meetings going, damn, where is Steve Smith at? What's he doing? Because they get him in the slot. I'm like, looking at George saying, hey, man, where's my help, dude? Where you going to be in? Because I can't cover this dude one-on-one. Like, figure out where he is. And then sitting in special teams meeting the entire week and having your coach say, Joe Avazano, who was our special teams coach, say, if he's a returner, we're in trouble. Kick away from him, right? Like, that's a Hall of Famer. Damn the stats. Okay, he didn't have 180 or whatever Jerry Rice stats. He didn't have those stats. But he affected the game in 2 phases of the game. Okay. That is a Hall of Famer. So we can talk about all the catches. So-and-so had 1 million catches and blah, blah, blah. Half of them were smoke screens. Okay, whatever. But that dude was real.
Very well said, sir. And, we do appreciate I know everyone appreciates how you feel and your humbleness, as I stated in the beginning. But you do deserve to be in. We're wishing you well. I'm going to be right there waiting for the announcement or however. And I'm excited just for you even to have the opportunity because
we're going to party. Hey, dude, we're going to party in Canton. We're going to get down. We're going to get down.
All right. Well, let's go on to a couple other things and let's talk about the Cowboys now. In the secondary. So Stephon Gilmore. Now they got him for cheap. I don't know how we ended up grabbing him for a 5th round pick. What do you know about this guy? Can he really be the difference maker we need outside of or the opposite side of Trayvon Diggs?
I don't know. Look, you tell me if this is 3 or 4 years ago, I would have said absolutely shut down corner, dude. He had a run that was spectacular. Matter of fact, when he was in Buffalo, I thought he was a good player. He became the dude when he was in New England. Like there was something about his game that was just phenomenal. Like he took on challenges and he shut down his dude or whatever it was. He matched up extremely well with the best wide receivers in the league. And I think it was Defensive Player of the Year one of those years in New England, correct?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I mean, and then I've always been a guy that said, why is he not still in New England, or why is he still not in Indy, or what was the reason why Indy traded him for that 4th round pick or whatever, right? Like I've always been curious to know why a guy has to leave or a team moves on from him. I'm not sure if he's still that same guy I know he's not the same guy that he was in New England. Let's not have that expectation, right? So like I'm big on let's reset expectations. He's not the guy we saw in New England a few years ago. That's not him. He's the guy that was in Indy last year, and that's the last part of record that the piece of tape that we can go off of. And
does that make it better than Kelvin Joseph and?
Oh, he's better than Kelvin Joseph. Look,
don't
even be going in on Kelvin Joseph.
What? Was that a serious question?
No, I'm trying to say, does it really elevate our secondary?
I think it elevates our
secondary. We can feel good to say, he might not be the same dude, but he's still.
One of them is going to play. The other one did not. I think that's all that.
The other one may not make the team. Like let's call it what it is. Like Kelvin Joseph may not make this team.
Well, yeah.
So, look, I think they got better at the position. I really do. I think they really did. I think there was an upgrade there. I don't think they're going to be as concerned about the corner position because look, they let Diggs play his game a little bit. Look, and I think a little bit of this move was to show Diggs that we got another guy on the outside. On the other side, he's going to hold it down. You may get some balls over to you. And the one thing about Diggs, as much as I love Diggs, I think Diggs is a phenomenal player on the ball. Like if you want to go, get picks and play the ball and all that, but his limitations is, man, in order for this team to be a championship team, he's got to come up and make some plays like tackle. He got to come up and be an all-around player. That's my only. And I'm just going to say it, like, that's my only criticism that I would have on Diggs. Like, there are opportunities. And I'm not asking him to lay people out. I'm not. Like, I played with number 21. 21 wasn't going to lay you out.
Nope.
But he was going to grab a hold of you for a little bit, and then you
at least wrap him up. Grab a claw.
At least wrap him up, right? Like, I'm watching Diggs close his eyes and,
whiff.
And sometimes it's embarrassing to sit there and watch a guy that's that talented play to that level. And the only way you're going to get there, man, is the only way he's going to get to the elite level is that he's got to be more of a team player. Go get your picks and all that, but you got to come up and make some talent.
True that. No, you're right. So this secondary, though, or maybe I want to go to the defense. How good can this defense really be? You played on some really, really good defense.
Yeah.
Some really, really good defenses. I mean,
yeah. Look, man, I think the one thing they do have is they got two really outstanding pass rushers on the edge, and D-Law and Micah Parsons, right? That you know what you got there. And everyone needs a pass rusher. Right? And you got two damn good ones. I've always felt the weakness of this defense has been up the middle. That's the way I've looked at this defense. Like Diggs came in, played extremely well. He's got the takeaway artist. He'll take the ball away from you. On the other side, you got a pretty good player on the other side. And I don't know who's going to be. Actually, I'm curious to know who's going to be. What's going to happen there. I know Jordan Lewis had the injury. Mm-hmm. DeRon Bland is a dude. He's going to be
good.
A dude. He's going to be a dude. He's a dude. He had what, 5 or 6 picks last year and played extremely well. So I think they're really good on the perimeter. It's up the middle of this defense. And I know they go out and get this kid. I don't know how you say his first name, Mozzie or Maisie.
Yeah, the guy
Smith.
from Michigan.
Smith.
Mozzie Smith. But they go out and get him. I think that was a good pickup in the fact that it added depth in the middle of this defense. But I don't think they've been good up in, not only at the defense, the interior defense, but at the inside linebacker position. They're catchers. Like at some point, they need a guy that's going to be a thumper.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to sit in the middle of that defense, because you're asking Parsons to come back in the middle of the defense. Then he goes backside on the outside. Hey, make a decision. Keep him on the outside, but bring in someone that's going to make some plays, not 5 yards out. And again, this ain't a knock on Van Der Esch, but Van Der Esch is not a physical football player.
No, they were very slow to trigger last year. Last year when we was watching film, they weren't getting off the spot. I always remember that of, what are their first steps going to be, and ours are more hops than downhill, in my opinion. And I don't know if that was scheme or just because the guys in front of them were not creating those running lanes or they weren't comfortable or something. I'm hoping Mozzie can be that type of guy that draws double teams. Because I'm really interested to see if they put him and Jonathan Hankins on the field at the same time. Some of the time, not all the time, but it could get interesting. That dude is pretty good. I don't know. We'll see how Dan Quinn uses that. So before we start talking about coordinators, because you played with some very, very talented coaches, and I didn't say I was going to ask you this, but I'm kind of curious on who really kind of influenced you, I guess, the most on your on-field play. Because you had Zim, you had Campo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say, look, he started off with Campo because Campo believed that I could cover. Like when I first came in the league, I was a tweener. So I was a linebacker in college, a rover back in college, and I came into the NFL, and everybody didn't know exactly what position I was going to play, linebacker or safety. And it didn't take long, man, to where my first year or my first mini camp, Campo saw me cover. And here's actually the difference maker was Lovie Smith in college. So Lovie Smith made me cover running backs, slot receivers, everybody, tight ends, everybody, right? So Lovie kind of taught me the skill set of how to cover, use my athleticism, use my strength, and leverage to cover. And then when I got in the NFL, they didn't believe that I could cover the way I could cover. And in my first year, I didn't play. They didn't even start me at the safety position. I was pissed off they wouldn't start me at the safety position. They put me at the nickel guy. I was the nickel guy. And you know that, Jorge, when I came in the league. They believed enough in me to say, okay, well, this guy was a linebacker, but now we're watching him cover. Well, shit. I mean, he's going to be my guy. He's going to cover, the slot receiver and the tight end. And that's all I did my first year. I didn't like it. I wanted to play safety. But Dave Campbell believed in me early on. Zimmer really sharpened me up.
Okay.
I mean, he really did. Zimmer was the guy that Campbell was more of a yeller, a screamer. You had to deal with Camp, man. Camp was in your ear the whole time.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Zimmer was more so like if there was a piece of clay, if I was a piece of clay, man, he sharpened me up. He really did. He may be more of an all-around player, not just a good cover guy, but more so understanding the defensive scheme, what a 3 technique does, what a 9 technique. And I was maturing as well when Zimmer came in. So I was maturing as a football player at the same time. But there was a special bond, and you know this, George. There was a special bond that I had with Mike Zimmer. I had his back, dude. I mean, you ain't going to talk to Zim crazy. He just ain't. And he was always in protection mode with me as well. So,
well, that's pretty cool to hear. I know you said Zim didn't really fuss at you, but I think he fussed at me probably more than you, I guess. He'd always tell me how lucky I was. He'd tell me that you one lucky son of a bleep. jumping them dig routes and
Yeah.
you guys on these posts, but that's pretty awesome,
But
man.
Zim
So
did. I mean, but look, man, I think Zim had. One of the things that Zim used to always say to me was like, play to your strength, right? Play to your strengths, play to your strengths. Like, and when you came in, there was one thing that he'd always tell me it was at the position was, T could get you lined up. Let him do his job, right? Let him do his job. And your job, dude, was lining everybody's ass up. And that took a lot of weight off of me because, when you weren't there, I had to line up Roy Williams, right? And
right.
cover the slot. And I was like, oh, I can't do this.
Yes.
Like, it took a lot out of me, man, in my game when you weren't there. But Zim was right. The strength was, let you do your job and run the defense and let me just be a part of, that secondary and do my job.
Well, I appreciate that very much, and I did trust. I had a lot of trust with Zim in that aspect because he would ask me. I don't know if you knew that he'd come to me one on one a lot of times, like, "Hey, can you figure this out? Do you have it?" And if I didn't have it, he'd be like, "We ain't running it."
Damn well he didn't come to me. He's like, "You keep Woodson. You cover the dude."
Yep. So when you think about guys like that, how do you feel about what Dan Quinn is doing now? I know he was missing some pieces, like you said, in the middle, but how do you like this style of defense that they're doing and the style of play that they have? Are we on point to be able to get back to the?
I do, man. I'm a big believer in Dan Quinn, and not only myself, but just listening to who the guy is around the locker room and hear the players how they talk about him, and how he builds so much confidence in the players. Like, there's one thing to be a coach, man, and to be out there giving X's and O's, but it's another one when the players truly believe you, like they believe in you. They'll damn the scheme. They're following Dan Quinn, like he's beyond the scheme. And this has been the same talk everywhere he's been. It's the same talk when he was in Seattle, same talk when he was in Jacksonville. Like, the players love him for his knowledge of the game, but also how he builds a belief in them that, yeah, I got your back in these situations. So I think, look, I'm a firm believer this defense is even getting better because they become focused in the draft on this past draft. The focus has been on this defense. Like, how do we get better? How do we add depth to a defense? And I can't tell you, in years past, the only time I can remember them being hyper focused on one position was when they went out and really attacked the offensive line and got better at that position. And they were hyper focused on drafting those players. This time around, man, their whole goal was this draft was how do we get better defensively to match up with the likes of Philly, San Fran in the coming season. And then it has to be depth. They have to get more bench strength to do so.
So, okay. So you brought up something that I got two more things and then we'll let you get out of here. One is about Overshown.
Yeah.
And, because you were talking about how you were a hybrid kind of guy and you were going, sound like you kind of moved back. This guy was a safety and they kind of moved him up, but they're still utilizing his skills at Texas to be able to rush when you're saying getting downhill. Any advice you got for him on that? Maybe he's a little bit undersized as a linebacker, but he's got to deal with them guards and tackles in the league now.
Yeah. Eat.
Yeah. He said, just go eat.
So you got to eat, dog. He's got to eat. He's got to put some weight on. Look, the one thing you can't do in this league, and we always talk about gap integrity in this league, meaning, you're supposed to fit in certain positions, B gap, A gap, C gap, and you can't just run around blocks all the time. And we've watched players on this team in the last 5 years, I'm not going to mention names in the linebacker position, but run around blocks, be out of position. Great defenses, man, where you're supposed to fit. And there's sometimes that big offensive lineman, that offensive guard is going to get up on you. You better you got to hold some strength. You got to stay, have some gap integrity. He's going to have to learn that. the same in the college game, he's probably fast enough and more athletic than the guard or tackle who's trying to get up on him or fullback. In this game, man, he's going to have to just play his role and sit in there and hold his position. So that's the piece of advice I would have. He's going to have to get bigger. He's got to get stronger. Look, athletically, this kid can play, man. Like sideline to sideline, he can run. So I'm definitely, if I'm looking at this team in the nickel situation, they're playing Philly, he's going to spy Hurts. He's going to be that guy that can actually spy Hurts and get him on the ground because athletically he can get there and, you know, he has the speed to do those things. So, you know, look, I think there's going to be a learning curve in his first year, but he has all the tools to be a damn good football player, has all those tools.
Yes, sir. And you hit on the piece of, you know, about gap control. Me and JT, we always kind of talk about this because we're always scheming. He's still coaching, been defensive coordinator at JP2 now and things. And it just seems like, I don't know if it's happening in the league, but the whole gap exchange stuff, you know, these offensive linemen are getting faster. It seems like D linemen are getting reached a little bit more. And I wonder if the league is starting to go to smaller linebackers that can, like, make those guys right.
Right.
Yeah, you know, but I don't know. Okay, so tell us what you're up to now, man. You know, life after football. Know you got some businesses going on, doing a lot of things. What's the day like in D. Woodson's world, man?
Man, I love what I'm doing now, man. I really do, man. I like, you know, there was a time where, you know, after I played the game, I was in the league 13 years, and I made the transition to ESPN as an analyst. And George, I hate calling you George, Jorge. I've always called you Jorge, so I can't. I know we got folks listening, but Jorge, I never really loved what I was doing at ESPN, nor did I feel like I was that good at what I was doing. Like, I worked my ass off. I got coaches, I got the whole nine. And I just never was a natural. Like, it never came naturally to me to just be really good on air, right? So for the longest time, I felt like I was just faking it. Like, I wasn't comfortable. I was never really comfortable in my own skin, even after 14 years of being at ESPN. But in my time at ESPN, I'd always been involved with commercial real estate. And as you well know, my agent, George Bass, was a developer, or is a developer here in Dallas. And I've worked with him for years. So I understood the real estate game. And while I was at ESPN, I decided, man, I wanted to join my commercial real estate team called ESRP, where now we've gone through a merger and we're Cressa now. The name of our team is Cressa now. But man, I show up every day, man, and work with about 60 people within my office. And we've even gotten bigger now. But, you know, what we do is we help people find office space, help people find industrial, you know, warehouses or whatnot. And it's that simple. We're what we call the old Staubach firm. And you remember Roger had his old firm. Yep. My partners come from Roger Staubach's firm back in the day. So, you know, that's what we do, man. And I love it, man. I'm competitive. That's not going to ever change. I got a team atmosphere, locker room atmosphere with the brokers and the admins and that within that office and my partners. And we're strategic in how we approach things, man. And, you know, I have my wins and I have my losses, man. We try to eliminate the losses, but there's no different than what we've been doing on the NFL, on the field in the NFL.
That's nice. That's nice. Well, congratulations to you on that. And please keep me in mind when you need someone to get all your employees lined up. I ain't gonna charge you much, man. $5, $10, man. I'll come on through. I'll get them lined up. Tell them what's going on. I can tell them all the good stories about you. And but anyway, any charity work, anything, you know.
Yeah, man.
How can we help you? How can our
Yeah. So I'm with my group. My charity group is C5 Texas, and we mentor kids from 7th grade all the way up to their senior year in high school. And a lot of them are from disadvantaged situations, mom, grandma raising them, but they're leaders. They're you know, we work with a lot of schools in South Dallas and West Dallas and all over the Metroplex. we interview the counselors. The counselors usually send us the kids that they feel like have potential, but are in some disadvantaged situations. And we bring these kids on. In 7th and 8th grade, we take them up to Killeen, and they're there for 25 days out in that hot sun. But we're teaching them leadership skills. And then the 9th and 10th grade kids, they're going on campus visits. So we send them to college campuses for 8 days, and they stay on campuses so they get the experience of what the college life looks like. And then the 11th and 12th graders, man, we send them up to Wisconsin, and they go on these trips, and they get to know who they really are. They have the camp, they have these compasses, teach them leadership skills there, man. And it's, for me, man, it's my purpose, man. It's why I wake up every day, because I grew up in an area in West Phoenix where there weren't any heroes, man. We didn't have any heroes. We didn't have professionals come back and give us their experiences in life. And I didn't get those experiences. What got me out was football. And I'll just be completely honest. I was never going to be anything else but a football player, because I didn't know there was anything else that was out there on the professional side. So it's my job, man, to give back and serve and make sure these kids understand there's so many things that they can possibly do. They don't have to be an athlete. They can do so many other things and make a huge contribution to their communities.
All right. Well, everyone, make sure you support him there, whether it's, I don't know if they need volunteers or money or whatever.
Yeah, all the above. All the above. C5texas.org. Go to c5texas.org. And look, I'm big, George, I'm big. Look, if you want to give money, that's fine. But when you come in and spend time with our organization and you actually pour into these kids and they pour back into you, that's when you're making a difference, man. Is volunteering your time. And I'm a firm believer that you bring your kids and you show them that you're serving, and they will become servants as well.
And this is why, a really damn good reason why Darren Woodson should be in the Hall of Fame. Doing it on the field, doing it off the field, doing it in the business world. It takes a very special kind of person to do that. Man, we appreciate your time, getting away from, your family, coming up and chatting with us a little bit. I hope to see you this year. One of the football games, couple of football games. I'm sure I'll run into you somewhere around there. And, it's always a pleasure, man, just to be able to chat with you. And thank you for everything and all the great work you're still doing, man.
I appreciate it, Jorge. Thanks, bro.
All right. Okay, there we have it. JT, pop yourself back on so we can let this guy go get back to his family. JT might be in the random bathroom or something. Okay.
Nah, I'm here.
Well, thank you. Round of applause for Darren. Appreciate it very much. Thank you. Have a great night, brother.
All right, man. Y'all enjoy. Take care, JT.
Tell ya.
Man, dude's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, man. I appreciate it, homie.
Oh, yeah. I was getting ready to talk about you again. Hang up, man. Get on out of here.
No, hang up. We need to get going. I got to watch off. Hey, man. Hey, man. Hang up.
Yeah.
All right, dog.
Right. All right, man. Talk to you later. He gone this time?
Yeah, I hit the hang up button for him.
Okay. Man, he's an amazing dude. Isn't he? Yeah, Cowboys Cave. Mr. Mike Tagg, man, the dude is legit. Mike Tagg got a really nice show too as well. Appreciate him coming in and checking us out for a little while. So I don't know, man, JT, I think you made a tremendous point about him in the Hall of Fame, and the comparisons that you made to Ty Law and Lynch. It just I don't know. I think he kind of and I know he's uncomfortable with us talking about him while he's on there, but I wanted to hear what we were trying to say. But, I just think, he had a hard ballot last time because there still was a lot of Cowboys on the ballot the last time, too. I mean, DeMarcus Ware, I can't remember who else is on there, but I'm sure they're not going to – I don't know that it lends a thing like that, but if you got three people from the same team,
it does.
They're probably not going to go, well, let's just put all the Cowboys in.
Hey, I mean, I still think that's why Will Anderson didn't get invited to the Heisman ceremony.
Because of Bryce?
Yes.
Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, it's sad that it had to be like that, but kind of is what it is. So I think he made some good other things too outside of the Hall of Fame stuff. I think he, talked a really, really good piece about the Dallas Cowboys in the state. I'm kind of excited about where they are, what they're up to, what they can do. It's going to be fun to see how this progresses and what it looks like, because the schedule's not going to be cakewalk either. It's going to be. I don't know. The one thing I didn't get asked was did he think we actually caught up to the? Are we close enough to overtake the Eagles? What do you think? What do you think?
No.
Because of their moves they made this time, or you just think?
No, as I said, with the last, we had that NFC East roundtable. I'm until I see it, I don't believe that the level of coaching all the way around is enough to make up the gap.
So are you picking on a particular position, or are you just saying offensively?
I'm picking on the
What do you
offense.
say?
I won't pick on a particular position yet. We'll see. But I think offensively, we're just not there yet. Maybe things will change. I look at what I envy. We had Coach Abreu on the podcast, I guess, a couple weeks ago, and could you imagine what the Cowboys' offense would have looked like if they would have lost 3 quarterbacks?
No, that wouldn't have been good. We wouldn't have won the game.
That's what I'm saying.
That's for sure.
And they're in the conference championship game with a guy they picked because they could. Not even, I don't even know if they actually wanted him. Just he's here. So, meanwhile, we got not anything against Cooper Rush, because I think Cooper Rush has that kind of thing in him, but he needs. I won't even say the pieces. Like, you don't need. Well, I mean, you have Zeke and Tony Pollard, so I mean, that's Christian McCaffrey-esque, and they just picked him up. It just, you look at those kind of teams where they can kind of just like pick up guys and then turn them into effective weapons. And to me, the way the Cowboys have been operating lately is they expect the players to make up the deficit, where they'll go get, or they'll try to go get, Band-Aids to try to make the position group better by adding a player, which is not always bad. But if that position group just overall is underperforming, I think there are other reasons than just the players are not.
Well, and I think you saw some of what McCarthy tried to do this year with his staff. I mean, you got to think about some of the people that he let go. A lot of people on defense, releasing Kellen Moore, or parting ways, whatever you want to call it. I think Jerry's kind of listening to that. I mean, they've made some moves. Still wasn't like big splashes, but getting Stephen Gilmore, getting Brandon Cooks.
Mm-hmm.
I think, I don't know. I'm with you. I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm excited about the defense. I think.
Oh yeah, I think the defense is clearly the strength of the team. It's just weird to me. You can, the game that they put together against the Bucks in the playoffs, the first round. And it's like, where has this been literally all year?
Yep.
And then you follow it up the next week and you're like, one of these games is the fluke. One of these games is not like the others. And it's like, you can turn on the tape from when they played the Eagles the first time. You can turn on the tape when they played Washington both times. I would even argue you could turn on the tape from when they played the Colts. They might have scored 55 points, but that was not because the offense was clicking on all cylinders. That's because the defense
It
was
just was
just
balling.
the defense was balling, and Jeff Saturday just is a masochist, I guess, and was like, yeah, let's not end this game. Let's just keep trying to throw picks and go for it on fourth down.
Well, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. I think there's going to be a lot of criticism early on with preseason games. Really seeing how they can't show much, but still, it's going to be the first time McCarthy.
Well, I just
What
want
Steve
them.
say?
He says, I hate that they're possibly moving Tyler to guard after the season he just had. They really should have properly addressed the left guard spot, especially when you're in win now mode.
Bingo.
Gold star.
That is the only thing in the draft that I felt like we should have. That should have been the second round pick.
But we just had to have a tight end. Got to have a tight end.
Huh?
You just got to have a tight end, right? I mean,
we got two young ones. They were decent. I'm not sure. I like Shoemaker. I watched him. He's going to be a good inline blocker. I think they probably got him because of his blocking skills. He can catch the ball, right? He got strong hands and all that kind of stuff, but I think he's a better blocker than.
Who's the Bengals tight end?
Well, it used to be Hurst, but he ain't there, or whatever his name is.
That's my point. That's all. That's the point.
It used to be Hurst. Well, their running scheme is totally different too. They run a high school, college offense. All those outside zones, inside zones. Still running off of four wides.
I'm sorry. How many playoff games did they win?
Yeah, that's true. But
I'm just saying, I don't think that you have to go like that is not a position that you must have. It's a position that is nice to have. It does make things easier. But when you have other, if your answer to the line is, well, we got to figure out what to do with Tyron Smith and make sure that he's healthy. And oh, by the way, we're going to go get Jason Peters because, we just need bodies. It seems like tight end's kind of like not the concern here right now.
No. Okay. I guess the same thing. It should be a tackle, a guard, or someone else. Maybe even a center. That was the only thing that I was really hoping for. That it was either in free agency or in the draft that they would bolster that up. Because I still don't know if Tyron is he going to be able to play the whole season or not. He's getting
I don't see why anybody would think that he would.
And still, he is great, and he can play ball, that kind of stuff. But he's getting nicked up too.
All I want is to be able to watch the Cowboys play, and when they get on offense, I want my mindset to change from I hope they can get a first down to, hey, we got the ball back. We might go score. Whether we score or not is different. But I really don't like getting the ball back and being like, okay, are we actually going to get 5 plays this drive or no?
Okay. Well, like I said, I'm gonna be cautious. If McCarthy's gonna call the plays, let's give him a chance and see what really happens here. We should know pretty early on if this is going to look different than before. And I have no doubt that it will. So, all right, man. Well, I think we've done it, JT. I think we had a great show tonight. I think we go ahead and get out of here because my cheese sticks are getting a little bit cold. And I love these things out here. We got a good crowd out here. And you know what? I got to get something. I need a hat that I got to put on or something because there's still people who don't recognize who I am, right? So anytime I walk in with the speaker, You know what they quickly asked me?
Is it karaoke? Is it time for karaoke?
Yes. You about to do some karaoke? I was like, no, that's what those other speakers are for over there.
Hey, well, you know, there might be some hats in the works here soon.
Oh, that's a tease. That's a good tease. Yes, sir. I gotta do something. But anyway, man, I appreciate your time, and you know, we'll talk through all this other stuff a little bit later. But I think it's been a wonderful show, man. I'm gonna go ahead and close it out. Remind people, subscribe to our page, our YouTube page. Look for some things.
Craig says, "Wear the jacket."
Oh yeah, I could wear the jacket. You gave me a nice jacket. I do appreciate it. And hit that bell on there so you know what's going on. We're still every other week right now. We're working through our fall calendar and things of that nature. Well, it will switch up. There will be some dates that will change a little bit just because we will have some vacations and different things coming up. So we'll have to move. And so the best way to know about that is to hit that bell so you know when we're scheduling something. Yes, sir. Go to Twitter, Instagram, find me at Big Football. Man, I just want to dance tonight. Come on. Hey. All right, man. We love you guys. We're going to see you later. I'm about to have that orange tea. Calvin, get that orange tea. Everybody, have a great night.